Miss Lady T, do you ever go to sleep? Oh my gosh. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Miss Lady T? 'Cause I just wanted to read something. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, thank you. All right, this is not really a live. I just wanted to read something from the earlier live. Uh, it was brought to my attention that R. Kelly was being moved to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Right. Hey, Wings, what's up? So I wanted to read some about that facility. Um, as we spoke about that facility earlier, where he's being moved to, it is essentially a hellhole, right? You don't have to take it from me, so I'm just going to read it. This is not a live. I was just too lazy to try to do a video that I got to edit and all that. Nobody got time for that. I just thought that I would just go live and just read about the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. This is where R. Kelly will be moved. All right, let's see. Let's read it. Let me read about it. The Metropolitan Detention Center, Brooklyn, also called MDC Brooklyn, is a United States federal administrative detention facility in the Sunset Park neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York City. It holds male and female prisoners of all security levels. It's operated by the Federal Bureau of Prisons, actually the BOP, also known as BOP, a division of the United States Department of Justice. Most prisoners held at the MDC Brooklyn have pending cases in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York. MDC Brooklyn also holds prisoners serving brief sentences. By February 2019, 1,600 prisoners were held in MDC Brooklyn. In 2019, one former warden, Cameron Lindsay, said that the MDC was the most troubled, if not the most troubled facility in the Bureau of Prisons. So the warden is saying that it was one of the most, to her, one of the most troubled prisons in the BOP, um, in the Bureau of Prisons. So let me go here. In June 2015, a lawsuit filed in 2002 against high-ranking officials of the George W. Bush's presidential administration, including former Attorney General John Ashcroft and former FBI Director Robert S. Mueller III, brought by 8 mostly Muslim immigrant detainees, was allowed to go toward by a 3-judge federal panel. It alleged that the plaintiffs were subject to chronic arbitrary abuses, including beatings, strip searches, and solitary confinement. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals decision included one dissent. Um, some notable incidents. Inmate assault. On June 29, 2009, Ronald Atkinson, an inmate at MDC Brooklyn who had been arrested in connection with 6 bank robberies 12 days earlier, committed an unprovoked assault on a correctional counselor, punching him in the head multiple times until he was restrained by correctional officers. As a result of the assault, the counselor, whom the Bureau of Prisons did not identify, suffered serious injuries, including a broken nose, broken facial bones, a fractured eye socket, a laceration requiring stitches, and 2 slipped discs in his neck. An 18-year veteran of the Bureau of Prisons, the counselor was forced to take medical retirement as a result of his injuries. Atkinson was subsequently sentenced to 7 years in federal prison for the bank robberies. On July 19, 2013, He was sentenced to an additional 12 years in prison in connection with the assault. Atkinson is scheduled to be released in 2031, currently at USP Lewisburg. Ronald Wilson. On February the 5th, 2013, New York media outlets reported that Nancy Gonzalez, a former federal correctional officer, had engaged in sexual relationship with Ronald Wilson, an inmate at MDC Brooklyn, and that Gonzalez was carrying Wilson's child. Wilson, who was convicted and sentenced to death in 2007 for the 2003 murders of NYPD detectives Rodney Andrews and James Numeran, was awaiting resentencing hearing in Brooklyn federal court. After his original death sentence was overturned in 2010, when he began a relationship with Gonzalez. Gonzalez was terminated and arraigned in federal court on charges of sexual abuse of a person in custody because an inmate cannot legally consent to sex. Wilson was subsequently transferred to the MCC in Manhattan. Gonzalez pleaded guilty to unlawful sexual abuse of a ward on July 3rd, 2013. Gonzalez was sentenced to a year and a day by federal judge Brian Coggan on February the 9th, 2014. Coggan remarked, Gonzalez have served emotional dysfunction. Wilson was sentenced to death again on September 10th, 2013. During the hearing, U.S. District Court Judge Nicholas Garofis called for a formal investigation by the Justice Department Inspector General into management of the MDC Brooklyn, where he said Mr. Wilson was permitted to treat the MDC as his own private freedom. Freedom. Okay, and winter of 2019, heating and power issues. In January and February of 2019, over 1,600 inmates were kept with little to no heat and power for a week during January 2019 North American cold wave. Numerous inmates reported ill health and were seen banging on windows for help. Activists and some New York officials became involved in seeking to improve conditions. The incident started on the weekend of January the 26th and the 27th with a power outage. A problematic electrical panel was repaired but caught fire the next day. Power was restored on the evening of February the 3rd, and the Department of Justice planned to investigate the incident. Inmate family members and lawyers have said that those inmates involved in protesting these harsh conditions through nonviolent disobedience and hunger strikes have faced draconian reprisals from jail staff, including being pepper sprayed, subjected to solitary confinement, and having toilets shut off, according to a report in The Intercept. One on all three of those housing units where men collectively refused food, jail staff shut off the valves to toilets, and in all of these on all of the cells, according to accounts relayed to lawyers. Confined to their cells on lockdown, deprived of light, the men on these units now found themselves shivering on their bunks with their heads inches from the toilet bowls nearly overflowing with festering feces. Some of the notable inmates that have been housed there, one was Takashi 69, Allison Mack, that's the lady that is being tried with that was involved in that Keith Raniere, the founder of NXIVM, Nexivim, I think that's how it's pronounced, that was convicted for 2 counts of sex trafficking, and he's getting 120 years. She was there. She's released, being waiting on bail. They already have R. Kelly on here. That's the pin I posted with. They already said that he is awaiting transfer there. They already have that on Wikipedia. Let me see someone else you guys maybe know about. Al Sharpton stayed there. Michael Cohen, one of Donald Trump's lawyers, he was there, and Ghislaine Maxwell, she's there. That's the lady that was helping to procure underage girls for Jeffrey Epstein. She to sexually abuse. She's currently held there. So I just wanted to read that to show that this is serious business. Like that is a hellhole to where he's going. A hellhole. I mean, the and these are accounts like within the last 2 or 3 years. You know, and I knew about it because we always, hear about it and hear the complaints and stuff like that. But I just wanted to read it to give some, kind of perspective. And sorry about the hard read. I was my first time going through it, but I just, oh my gosh, this is crazy, really, really crazy. But yeah, I didn't want to keep y'all up. I just wanted to read that to y'all. If y'all don't mind, can you please hit that like button? And if you don't, I understand. But yeah, that's just wanted to do that real quick to let them know that's where he's heading, and it's already listed on Wikipedia, which is I don't, oh boy, that's crazy. All right, y'all. Good night or good morning. All right, bye.